Gemini Jets 767, what's going on, man? You're first to the chat today. Congratulations on first place. What's up, man? What's going on? How's your day going? Finish this Instagram post really quickly. Gameplay, what's going on, man? Beautiful plane, yeah, I love it. That's the QualityWings 757. Lois Bartley, what's going on, man? Can someone get Isaiah to unban me from my other YouTube account? I'll talk to him, but you gotta behave, man. You gotta listen to him. He's in charge. I'll mention it to him, though. Just behave this time. Oh, Lois. So far we have Gemini Jets in first place today to the chat. Second place, Gameplay. Third place, Lois Barley. And now fourth place, Eli. What's going on, Eli? And Billy M, fifth place. That's top five. We've got our top five for today. Good job, guys. Condor. Hobbit, what's going on? Liked from work. Thank you, man. Oh my god, my phone is being ridiculous. This thing is too old. Alrighty. Trying to get the chat up on my phone, but keeps locking up. There we go. All right, so I can close this. Oh, shoot. Sorry about that. Feedback from my phone. All right, let's jump into the sim. Starting off today at Hamburg. In Hamburg, sorry, Germany. Heading down to Innsbruck, Austria, which is one of the more dangerous airports in the world. One of the most dangerous airports in the world. So this will be interesting. About to clock in, Hobbit. Hope your day goes well. This won't be too long of a flight, Lois. I think like an hour and a half down to Innsbruck. You're going to want to stick around for the approach. If you can. All right, we'll get started in like 2 or 3 minutes. We are that guy right there. 757-300. A little bit longer than the ones we're used to flying. The little baby 200. This is the QualityWings 757, Lois. You got it right. You are correct, sir. Tried to start a little earlier for you guys over there in Europe. Couldn't do this afternoon, though. Soon, Lois. Wait. LFPG. You keep asking for different flights, even every stream, Lois. First it was, I think, San Francisco to Hong Kong. Then you wanted me to do the San Francisco-Honolulu flight, which I want to do that one as well. Pick one, man. Or was it London Heathrow to Hong Kong? Or London Heathrow to San Francisco? You've given me like 5 different flights. We're going to do one of those really long ones soon. I'm starting to mentally prepare for it. I'll probably end up like leaving the computer during cruise or something and then coming back towards the end of the flight. Because there's no way I'm going to sit there for 10 or 12 hours. But I can do that. I could start up a flight, leave the day and go do my errands and whatnot, and then come back 10 hours later. Alright, one more minute. Less than a minute. 30 seconds. We'll get started. We're going skiing in Austria. LHR to Hong Kong was the first one? Alright, cool, man. That's the one I have in my head that I'm kind of mentally preparing for, so that'll be the one that we do first. I can't tell you exactly when. I can give you one promise. It'll be before the end of the year. Maybe in a week or two. Within 2 weeks, I think. I could set myself up for that. Alright. Enough with the chit-chat. Let's get this show on the road. Got about an hour and a half flight ahead of us. And one wicked approach. Which isn't that bad. I practiced it a little bit before streaming just now. It's like not too technical. You just gotta be careful because there's mountains everywhere. So if you screw up, you gotta know where to go. APU. I've got your flight written down though, Lois, don't worry. It's still there. Tune into the ATIS.
Hamburg Airport information, X-ray 1324 Zulu, wind 249er, dead 9er, visibility 5, sky condition, ceiling 900, broken, temperature 13.2.12, altimeter 299er8, ILS, runway 23 in use, landing and departing, runway 23. All aircraft read back, hold short instructions.
Landing, departing, runway
Advise
23.
controller on initial contact, you have X-ray. Hamburg Airport information, X-ray 1324 Zulu.
It's the police, Lois. They're after you. They're looking for you. I won't tell them. Alright, we have X-ray. Let's call for clearance. Juice Gaming, you made it. What's up, dude? Even Eli Cole thinks your flight is long, Lois. Look at that. I didn't hear any of that. Did you guys? Runway heading. Climb and maintain 7,000. Squawking 4671. Alright, let's set up the FMC. Guys, I have the route down in the description as well as the approach charts if you want to follow along for the approach. I was sure to include that since it'll be a doozy. So you guys can follow along with me if you wanted to. We'll be flying the RNAV 26 approach into Innsbruck. Innsbruck is... That's the right ALB. Hold on a second. .2.2. I don't see that VOR here. Why is that? I think that's wrong, but we'll see when we get there. If anything, we'll skip it. The RNAV 26, and depending on the wind, we'll be landing either straight in 26 or we'll have to do that loop into 08, which is the really difficult approach, which I'm hoping for that. I'm hoping they have us land on runway 8. Although we won't be using ATC for the approach since they don't. Default FS9 won't vector us in or let us follow this approach chart. They'll just give us their own headings and altitude assignments, and we don't want that. So once we get closer, I'm just going to ignore ATC. We'll switch frequencies and then handle it all ourselves. And yeah, depending on the wind, we'll either have the kind of easier approach into 26 or we'll have the really hard one into runway 8, which is what I'm hoping for. If we get closer and if we do get runway 26 with the winds and we want to change the winds so we can land on runway 8, if you guys wanted that, we could do that. We'll take a vote when we're closer. I really want to fly the approach into runway 8 to make it really difficult. Alright, moving forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard this flight. May we remind you that all seat backs and tray tables need to be in the upright position. All carry-on
Cruising at
items while on
35,000
board
feet.
must be securely stowed either under the seat in front of you or in an overhead bin. Prior to pushback from the gate, please ensure that your seatbelt is securely fastened. Personal cellular telephones may be used while parked at the gate with the main cabin door open. We will advise you when they must be turned on. For customers seated in a row of seats identified by the words, "No children this row," please review the white safety card in the seat pocket in front of you. The use of some portable electronic devices is prohibited while on board.
That looks good except for this VOR. I couldn't find the right one in the FMC, so we'll have to keep an eye on that when we get closer. When we pass Lasagna here, we'll have to make sure we don't make a complete 180. Could be right though. It looks like it's heading in the right direction. No, maybe not. Alright, we'll see when we get there. Alright, that's all set up. We're pretty much ready for push and start. Let me catch up on a couple messages before we go. I am me, what's going on, man? Glad you made it. Miami to St. Martin, Lois Barley? Yes, we will do that again, 100%. Techno Sword, what's going on, dude? Welcome back. I should really do the LAX to Honolulu. Yes, I want to do that, Eli. I think it was San Francisco to Honolulu, right? You're referring to the last United 744 flight? Really, IME. That's another thing that YouTube has added now. They make it so hard for you to follow people you subscribe. It used to be simply you would subscribe to somebody and you'd get all the notifications, right? And everybody would be on your feed and yada yada. Now you have to subscribe. Then they wanted you to hit the bell button so you can get the notifications. Now you have to hit the bell button and go into your settings and then change that from occasional to always. That's crazy. I wasn't even aware of that until you just mentioned it now. But I'm not surprised YouTube is doing that. Alright, let's close the doors and push back. What do you say? What do you say? Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have just closed the main cabin door. All personal cellular telephones must be turned off and stowed for the duration of the flight. Flight attendants, prepare doors for departure, cross-check, and verify straps.
Oh, we're going through a gate. Alright, starting engine number 2. N2 is rising. Stable. Engine number 1. Both engines stable. Back up top. Alright, let me go grab another drink before we call for taxi. Super Pads covers, welcome. You did not get the notification today? Listen to what IME had to say. You got to go into your settings in YouTube and change to how often you want my notifications, whether it's always, occasional, seldom, or never. I guess it's a new thing YouTube's doing. I'll be right back, guys. Give me a second. All right.
Hamburg ground, Condor Board 1 with Zulu, ready to taxi IFR. Condor Board 1, taxi 2 and hold short of runway 23 using taxiway Alpha Echo. Contact tower on 121.275 when ready. Taxi 2 and hold short runway 23 using taxiway Alpha Echo. Condor Board 1.
Flight attendants, please be seated for departure.
Fix It Super Pads covers, awesome. Giancarlo 903, what's up, man? Welcome. Welcome, Mr. Giancarlo. Just in time, man. We're taxiing to the end of the runway now, so we can take off and head down to Austria and do some skiing. I have no clue what the weather's like over there, honestly. They're just known for their skiing. Innsbruck. Hey, look at that. The service vehicles actually stopped for us. Holding short of runway 23. Alright, flaps are set. Trim. Transponder goes to 1 TARA, which it's not clickable in this particular aircraft, but we'll just pretend like we do in simulations. That's it. Let's do this. Apparently we're not close enough to the runway. you're not close enough to the runway as to FS9 standards, they won't let you call for takeoff clearance. So I'm waiting for the message to appear down there in the bottom left. There it goes.
Hamburg Tower, Condor 4-1, ready for IFR departure, runway 23. Condor 4-1, cleared for takeoff, runway 2.
Cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff.
No airplanes coming.
Condor 4-1.
Runway 23. V1.
V1.
Rotate.
Rotate. V2. Positive rate. Gear up.
Gear coming up.
Condor 4-1, contact Hamburg approach on 124.625.
Alright, over to Hamburg approach.
4.625. Condor 4-1.
Oh, it's raining. Awesome. Alright, let's contact Hamburg approach.
Hamburg approach. Condor 4-1 is climbing through 2,400 for 7,000. Condor 4-1, Hamburg approach, roger, altimeter 29er. Condor 4-1, turn left heading 165, proceed on course, climb and maintain 7,000.
Left to 165, climb and maintain 7,000, and we'll proceed on course.
Heading 165, resume on navigation, climb and maintain 7,000. Condor 4-1. Condor 4-1, turn left heading 135.
Left to 135, Condor 4-1.
Turn left heading 135, Condor 4-1.
Flaps 1. Flaps up.
Dev Patel, what's going on, dude? Nobody's gonna get banned today. Cactus has not made it yet. If you guys be good and behave, you don't get banned. Cactus is good at doing what he does. Liking the stream, Dev? Thank you, sir. Going to the world-famous Innsbruck, Austria. We'll have the approach charts down below if anybody wants to follow along when we get there. We'll be weaving through the mountains similar to Toncontin. This approach, I think, is easier in my opinion. I don't know which one's actually rated harder, but right up to 15,000 for Condor 4-1. Right to 160 and resume on nav, Condor 4-1.
Turn right heading 160, resume on navigation, Condor 4-1. Condor 4-1, contact Bremen Center on 1-1-9er, wind speed 25.
Over to Bremen Center.
Contact East approach on 123, wind speed 1-1-9er, point 825 for Condor 4-1. Bremen Center, Condor 4-1. Climbing to 9,200, 115,000. Condor 4-1, Bremen Center, Roger. Altimeter 3001.
Luis Figo. I'm sure there's a crack available for FS9, Luis. I don't know if they still sell hard copies of the game. You always tell me to fly prepared, Luis. I'm telling you, I'm getting it in 1 month. Stop doing that to me. Yeah, man, I agree. It's the best sim right now, prepared. Especially V4.1 being 64-bit now. Yeah, buddy. I'll be definitely moving to prepared come Christmas time. So soon, man, soon you're going to see my videos look completely different, and you'll know why. Because I finally upgraded. Steaks on board today, Lois. Awesome. Oh, Super Pad's coming with the pizza, pasta, ribeye steak, McNuggets, and all the good drinks. Thank you, guys. This is actually wrong, because this isn't the right Alpha Lima Bravo VOR. I couldn't find it in the database. I'm gonna delete that since it doesn't exist. There we go. That's looking more like it. We are 387 miles out of Austria. Innsbruck, sorry. Innsbruck, Austria. We'll be there in about an hour and 15 minutes. Alright, up to 270 for Condor 4-1. Corona, Lois? It's not a Corona, it is Land Shark. Looks like a Corona bottle, though. Close. I'm actually not a fan of Corona. I'll drink it, but it's not the greatest stuff in the world to me. This is Land Shark. I don't know where it's made. It's good, though. I like it. was a Heineken. I do like Heinekens.
Piper Yankee Tango Tango, your 39er miles southwest, turn right heading 08566 sector ILS, runway 24, approach. Turn right heading 085.
Alright, transition altitude.
Runway 24, approach. Piper Yankee Tango Tango.
Are the dogs in the room? Just Trippy is at the moment. The big brown one. He's actually begging to get out right now. Which I think I'll let him out. I'm gonna let him out now, and then they'll be back in later, I'm sure. That is beautiful. Beautiful. Save a screenshot really quick. Sorry. All done. Jorge Orozco, what's going on, dude? Jorge. Another screenshot, sorry. For Instagram, that's right, Superbats covers. Superbats covers knows my mind. Show us a bottle. I'm not sponsored by Land Shark, just so y'all know. I'm not sponsored by them. It's Land Shark Lager, Island style lager. Land Shark, if you want to sponsor me, call me. Is that us? Why? I hate when they do this. Alright, let's do it. They want us to turn for some screenshots. That's what it is. I'm going to jump to an outside view. Hold your ears. Oh, yeah. That bank angle. Oh my god, the wind is wicked up here right now. Unless it's just the autopilot being wonky. Look how pretty that thing is. Dang! Alright, up to 350 for Condor 41. Right to 155, resume on nav. Oh yeah, it's definitely like wind shifts or something. It's making the aircraft do those crazy yaw movements. What was I doing? Direct to HLZ. it's loud. This game is not very good with the dynamic weather changes, that's for sure. You'll have like a 50-knot tailwind and it'll turn into like an 80-knot headwind in a matter of seconds. Like it's doing now. This is why our airplane is going crazy. You just have to deal with it. You just have to deal. Pretty views though. I'm liking this. I'm liking this flight so far. How about that 757 IME? Hell yeah, man. Sexy. When will we see the 777 again, Lois? Do it, man. The list of things to do is so huge. We've done a 777 once or twice on the stream, though. We'll do it again. I have a decent one. PSS, I think Phoenix Simulations 777. Really old, but pretty accurate. Or so I'm told. I am not a 777 pilot. Mackie, what's up? Welcome back. No, that's not the reason. That's not the reason SuperPads covers. That was just a mistake. We weren't supposed to fly into that runway. That runway was not big enough for 777. So that was just poor planning. That's not what scares me from the 777. Nothing scares me from the 777. I actually love that airplane. It's just that I switch airplanes so often in the stream that I can only keep one or two fresh in my mind. Like if I were to jump back to the 777 right now at this moment, I'd have to kind of like relearn it in my head again. Although all these Boeing aircraft are somewhat similar, I'd be able to figure it out, but I want to give you guys a nice like fluid stream with little mistakes where possible. I love the 777 though. Awesome, awesome plane. I do not know where that traffic is. I didn't hear what he said. But they see us, so I guess we're okay. I'll let the autopilot handle that one. That is a 757 Mackie. You got that correct, sir. $757-300 this time. The beautiful Condor livery. Yes, Isaiah. No, Isaiah's not here, Mackie. If you're referring to me, my name is Tommy. Isaiah is our top moderator, who has not joined us yet on tonight's stream. But if you thought my name was Isaiah, my name is Tommy, Mackie. Joandy Rodriguez, what's going on, dude? Around the world in a 757. I love the 757. Gemini Jets is back. An A340 for FS9 Super Pats covers. Okay, Lois just answered with one called BBS, which I've never heard of. But I know there's another one as well. And I don't know the name off the top of my head. I'll have to think about it a second. I think it's also the same people that make the 777 that I own. PSS, Phoenix Simulations. They're old. I don't even think they like exist as a company anymore. But I think PSS. Oh, okay, that's what you meant. That's what you meant, Lois. It's not BBS, Lois. It's PPS. Phoenix something something Simulations. PSS, Papa Sierra Sierra. Look it up. I think they have an A340 as well as an A330 for FS9. Yeah, my FS9 is like visually stunning today. I'm gonna have to save all of these screenshots. Alright, back in the cockpit. Look at that. What? Nice weather, Mackie? Yep. I was just admiring the weather myself. Amazing. Look at that. I wish this airplane had a wing view for FS9. How far are we, Super Pats covers? We are 277 miles out of Innsbruck. Here's a look at the rest of our route here. In about 150 miles, we'll be starting our descent right in this area here. Right when we get to this point here, which is RTT, Rattenberg, NDB, that's when the fun begins. And we do all the weaving through the mountains. Which isn't really much weaving, but we'll have mountains to our left and right side. And then depending on the winds, we'll be landing either on the easy 26, or we'll have to make that circle for runway 8, which is what I'm hoping for, because that's the dangerous approach. One of them, anyways. I do have a Facebook, Mackie. I am not on there actively anymore, honestly. I haven't logged on to Facebook in probably a year. I don't have a Facebook related to this channel. I do have an Instagram, though, which should be in the description of this video. IME Lowy is Innsbruck, Austria, which is one of the world's most dangerous airports. Up there with like the old Hong Kong, Toncontin, etc., etc. Innsbruck, it's surrounded by mountains, dude. It's gonna be awesome. There is no cabin view, Lois, unfortunately. No cabin view in this airplane. This is all you get. I have the approach charts for the approach we'll be flying. We'll be flying the RNAV 26 into Innsbruck. Charts are down below in the description if you want to follow along. We'll be doing the RNAV 26 approach, and then depending on the winds, we'll either be landing visually runway 26, or I'm hoping for runway 08, which will make the approach like 12 times as difficult. Because we'll have to make a U-turn while surrounded by a mountain, so it's like a really tight U-turn back into short final. I practice it 2 times before streaming. I kind of sort of know what I'm doing, not 100%, so if I do get anything wrong, all of you armchair pilots out there want to let me know, let me know. It's not that difficult. It's not that technical, anyways. It's just the visual part at the end that gets kind of difficult. The PSS A340 climbs more like an F-15 than A340, Hector. I haven't flown it in so long, I don't remember. Hector Convector, what's going on, dude? Welcome. Yeah, SuperPADS covers. I was mentioning earlier when we were briefing before we pushed back that once we get closer, depending on the wind, if we need to land on, if we get the winds for 2.6 and you guys vote on changing those winds manually so that we can land on runway 8, I'm down to do that because I do want to do the runway 8 approach. So I'm hoping that we'll just get lucky and that the winds will work in our favor. But if not, we'll take a vote just before the approach, and if we want to change the winds, we'll change the winds, and then we'll do the visual for runway 8. $2,000 miles long, Lois. Tomorrow will I do another flight? Of course, Mackie. Definitely doing another flight tomorrow. I don't know what we're doing, but we will be doing a flight. I'll probably do it SuperPADS covers. Let's just hope that it just works out though by itself, so I don't actually have to change any weather or anything. I can keep the description down below, real world weather, even though I have no idea how accurate this is nowadays. This is beautiful though. This is real world weather. I want to be in Europe right now, flying. Alright, over to Frankfurt Center. Yeah, I'm hoping for the runway 8 visual. Mr. SuperPADS covers. Already voting in SuperPADS? Oh, I am me. What's up to the family? Toneball, Texas in the house. Hello, everybody. You guys are awesome. I wasn't too familiar. I've heard of this approach. I've seen a few videos. I've never actually studied it and knew what was all involved, but supposedly it's one of the hardest, or one of the most dangerous anyways. According to the charts, and I've flown it once or twice, like I said, before hopping on here, and it's not that technical. At least not for runway 6, but if you have to land runway 8, then it gets pretty squirrely at the end. Which is what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for the runway 8 visual. And again, I also mentioned this in briefing, we are flying right now with the FS9 default ATC, which once we get closer, they're going to give us their own vectors. They're going to give their own heading assignments, altitude assignments, so we can't follow the chart. So what I'm going to do is, once we get closer, and they assign us a runway according to the winds, we will switch to another frequency and ignore them. And we'll just proceed as the charts dictate. And again, I have links to the charts down in the description below, if you want to follow along. Do the 737-800, Mackie? Sure. I actually fly the 737-800 often. There's a bunch of streams of mine with the 737-800, so I'm sure we'll be doing several more this week. The only thing I don't like about my 737-800, well, it's the PMDG version, which is awesome, but the FS9 version of the PMDG 737 is not as pretty looking as the FSX version. Like, the virtual cockpit is not that great looking. this looks amazing to me, anyways.
6335, descend and maintain flight level 210. Descend and maintain flight level 210.
I'll try to work that in for you tomorrow, Mackie. I'll try to do the 737-800. Usually if it's not this aircraft, the 757, I'm usually flying the 737, so... If it's not one, it's usually the other. God, this flight has been gorgeous so far. Crazy. Things might get loud in a second. Hold your ears. 3, 2, 1. Lois Barley, I don't have any good A320s for FS9. I've been trying to find one, but nada. We could do it in a 737 EasyJet, Lois. Okay, Mackie, cool, man. You can actually go back and watch some of my other videos that have my previous live streams where I'm flying the 737, and you can fast forward and rewind to all the procedure parts. I'll be glad to do it live for you tomorrow, though, no problem. But if you're in a hurry or you want to know tonight, probably like 30 to 50% of my videos are flying the 737-800. Now, I don't follow the checklist, so what I do works for me, and yeah, it'll get you by. I mean, it's basically what they do in real life. I just don't follow checklists. Because I'm a lazy flight simmer. I need to buy me a nice iPad so I can pull up charts and stuff on the fly. It's one of the reasons I don't usually use checklists or charts is because I don't have a printer that's working, and I also don't have a good tablet that I can pull this stuff up and quick. My cell phone's too slow. I have so many things on my Christmas list. So many things. I am me. Mr. Slimy 832, what's up, dude? Just got back from school. I'm hanging in there, man. It's been a beautiful flight so far. So we're getting closer. We're 167 miles out. 166.
Condor Port 1, contact Munich Center on 120.65.
120.65 for Condor 41.
120.65.
Good day, sir.
Condor Port 1. Munich Center, Condor Port 1, with you. Condor Port 1, Munich Center, roger.
There's a good possibility, Lois. Come on, man, I don't crash. Funny, Lois. Start to see the mountains off in the distance.
Munich Center, 6335, with you. Condor Port 1, turn left, heading 155. 6335, Munich Center, roger.
Left to 155? Is that what they just said?
Turn left, heading 155. Condor Port 1. Descend and maintain 15,000. Speed bird, Niner 54. 6335, descend and maintain 7,000.
This is stunning.
7,000.
This is Flight Simulator 2004, guys. Come on. I think this looks awesome for how old it is. See that view right there. I'll be starting my descent and arrival soon, Lois Barley. Let's see. Usually a little bit before this green point here is when they'll start vectoring us down. Super soon, dude. We'll start a descent right around here, and then the fun begins right around here. When we get here to Rattenberg, that's when the fun stuff starts. But it's really, I don't think it's that difficult. Especially if you're landing runway 26. Right to 180, proceed on course.
Turn left, heading 130. Expect vectors ILS, runway 26, right approach, 6335. Turn right, heading 180, proceed on course, Condor Port 1.
Isaiah, what's your cruise altitude, Mackie? We are cruising at 35,000 feet, sir. Flight level 350.
Turn right heading 0704607.
I won't be, Eli. Once we get into the approach part, I'm going to follow their descent a little bit. I'm going to wait till they assign us a runway, basically. And at that point is when I'm going to ignore them. But that'll be before Rattenberg. There we go. Starting our descent down to 270. So we're descending from 35,000 feet down to 27,000 feet now. So we just started our descent into Innsbruck. Yeah, usually I know FS9 ATC somewhere right around MAH. Maybe a little bit further past. They'll give us a runway. And then they're going to tell us to turn in some weird direction and we'll just ignore it. Oh my god, that is beautiful. Yeah, Lois, it takes a lot to get your FS9 looking like this. I'm so used to doing it that I could get somebody's FS9 looking this way quickly, but it takes a lot more than just moving the sliders up in the game. There's a lot of post-processing going on with my graphics card through like the NVIDIA settings and whatnot. Like you can only turn like anti-aliasing up to like maybe 2 or 4x in FS9. But if you go into like the NVIDIA control panel or NVIDIA inspector, you can force the anti-aliasing to like 32x, super sampling, yada yada yada, and like you can make it look like it's crazy. I don't even think the developers, when they made the game, thought that it could look this way with the technology that we have today. So yeah. It makes sense that yours did not look this way when you had it. Alright, so the one thing we want to be sure of here on our descent now, since we're not going to be following the ATCs. Alright. Alright, so it's 2-6. Do you guys want to change the wind so that we land on runway 8? This is where I'm going to just ignore them from this point on. And what I was mentioning before that, what we want to be sure of is Rattenberg, this point here, which will be after we pass MAH. We want to make sure that we cross Rattenberg at 9,500 feet. That's where we want to be at. So we will adjust our descent accordingly. I'm going to switch frequencies so they don't talk to us anymore. Goodbye, guys. If I can figure this out. Yeah, switch. Alright. We're all alone now. I'm going to bring this all the way down to 9,500 feet. There. Which we are pretty much descending almost at the perfect rate. This little green line here is about where we'd end up at 9,500 if we continue our descent at this rate. Green line falls before this point. We'll also be slowing down a lot more pretty soon. Alright guys, so what do you want to do? Runway 26 or runway 8? I can either keep the winds the same and we fly straight into runway 26, which is pretty easy, or we can change the wind to a different direction so that we have to land runway 8, and that will be a doozy. Do the circle to land, IME? I have a feeling most people will vote that. Some people are hardcore, like, real world weather, you know, they get pissed when you change stuff, so I do have respect for those people as well, because I used to be one of those types. It's gotta be as real as it can get. Circle to land. If I want to. We'll do the circle to land. I'll wait till I get a little bit closer, and then I'll change the winds. Maybe once we get to Rattenberg, which is where we're heading now. Oh, the mountains. We're going to do the runway 8. Visual for runway 8. So we're going to be doing the RNAV 26 and then the visual for runway 8. Let's see if I have, okay, I have these are basically the only 2 points in the RNAV 26. There's like 6 more after in case of a missed approach. But these are the 2 leading into Innsbruck. So, that first one, which is just past Rattenberg, waypoint 2, we want to cross at 9,500 feet. After that, we want to cross waypoint 3. This is a little low. We want to cross waypoint 3, especially if we're going into runway 8. We want to cross waypoint 3 at around 3,700 feet is what we'll be shooting for. 3,700 feet will also be our minimums. So if we decide that we are not landing at that point, then we power out of there and turn around and head back to Rattenberg. So that's what it is so far. We're heading out of Rattenberg. Shortly after Rattenberg, waypoint 2, we want to be at 9,500. We also want to be at Rattenberg at 9,500. I know it says 1,100 here. I think normal procedure is to cross Rattenberg at 95. Pretty much once we get to Rattenberg 2 and waypoint 2, is it? Waypoint 2? We want to be like at least 95% configured for landing, meaning we're going to be doing all that weaving through the mountains with our gear down and our flaps deployed. Because once you get closer, it gets really hard to reduce speed. And you don't want to be doing a bunch of things last minute for this approach. You want to be flying the airplane and avoiding the mountains. And nothing else should be on your mind. So once we get to about waypoint 2, we should be at like flaps 30 with our gear down. Which is why we really need to slow down right now. I'm going to pause. Let me change the winds really quick. So that we're not landing with a tailwind to make things even worse. Definitely don't want to be doing that at this airport. It's user defined. Let's do like, keep all that the same. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm seeing on my screen. Probably not. I'm changing the weather in the simulator. So we're landing runway 8. Let's have the winds coming 035. Oh, we'll do moderate, like 16 knots. All right. All right, we should be good to run on land on runway 8 now. So that's what we're going to be doing. No turning back now. This is it. Once we get to Rattenberg, our next waypoint, which is not too long from now, under 20 miles, I will probably be ignoring the chat, guys. I'm going to have to pull up the charts on my phone to kind of follow along. Right now I'm like clueless in my head. I'm like, oh my, I don't even know what I'm doing. So I'll catch up with you guys after my landing. Don't think I'm ignoring you. Faithful XYT, what simulator is this? FS9. What's up, Faithful? Welcome. And all of you other guys I know, so don't feel bad if I ignore you. Samuel, what's up? Samuel, you're gonna like this approach. You like you like Toncontin. You like Innsbruck. This is one of those difficult approaches. All right, guys, I am gonna pull up my charts. I will not have the chat until we land. So if anybody's aware of what I'm doing and anybody comes in and asks, please brief them for me. We are doing the RNAV 26 approach, circle to land, runway 8. Leveling off at 9,500 feet. We're a good 5 miles from Rattenberg RTT. And then we're going to make a right turn to waypoint 2. I'm actually going to swing that a little bit early and not let the autopilot do it, or not let the LNAV do it anyways. Just because it kind of waits till the last minute. So I'm setting my heading bug up right now to head straight to... Let's do that now. Alright, heading home. So now we're going to head straight to Rattenberg. I mean, not Rattenberg, sorry, waypoint 2. We are just passing Rattenberg now. Alright, so this is the little, like, I don't know what you'd call it, valley, or gully, or this is what we're going to be flying between the mountains this way, over this river pretty much. Let's slow down. Start bringing flaps and stuff now, real early. Lateral nav for a sec to help me out. So we're heading now to waypoint 2, which we also cross at 9,500 feet. So we're holding 9,500. After we pass waypoint 2, we'll start a nice, pretty easy descent down to 3,700, where we want to pass waypoint 3. Pass waypoint 3 at 3,700 feet.
Ladies and gentlemen, in
I'm
preparation
going to start
for
arming all
landing,
of the things, the
please
speed
return all
brake,
seatbacks
auto
and
brakes
tray
set.
tables to their upright and stowed
Turn on the lights
position.
now, don't have to worry
Ensure
about
all
it later.
portable electronic devices are turned off, and stow all carry-on items. Additionally, footrest and video monitors must be returned to their original position.
Alright, we are crossing over waypoint 2. We're going to start our descent down to 3,700 feet. It's really tough to slow down in here, which is why you want to have all this done really early. So here's waypoint 3 right here. We want to be at 37 when we cross there. Just before we cross that point, or right at the moment we cross that point, we're going to hang a left. Can't remember the bearing, maybe 230. We're going to head to Rattenberg NDB, and that'll start our downwind, what you'd call a downwind leg for runway 8. Flying right there between the runway and the mountains. See how hard it is to slow down? This is why you want to do it early. Let's bring in some more flaps for more drag. Drop the gear down. Rearm those. Let's bring in some more flaps. We should be already pretty much like 90% configured. I'm a little bit behind, but it's alright. Now we're pretty much caught up. Alright, let me pull up my visual chart real quick if my phone is quick enough. Come on.
Flight attendants, please be seated for arrival.
So we're on schedule for descent across waypoint 3 at 3,700 feet. Once we get there, that's where we decide whether we want to continue or get out of here. Oh no, oh no. My phone is acting up. Alright, I have the field in sight. I don't know if you can see it. The airport's right here. The runway's right there. If we'd be landing runway 26, it's pretty much straight in, which is pretty easy. But once we get to waypoint 3 here, in a couple of miles, we're going to go left over here towards these mountains, where Innsbruck NDB is. We'll be able to see it soon.
$2,500.
I'm actually going to go flaps full now and run through our before landing checklist, which landing gear is down, 3 green, flaps are full, speed brakes armed, auto brakes set, landing lights on. I wish I could be showing you guys the mountains on our left and right side, but I cannot. Maybe we'll do a replay or something where you can look at the side views. Alright, now we want to leave. It's usually around this point, a little bit further. Here's Innsbruck NDB. We want to head to Innsbruck at a bearing of around 230, which I have the heading set up to 230. It's this magenta line. As soon as that gets to there, Innsbruck, I'll hit my heading hold. Now's a good time. So now we go left. There's the runway, if you can see that. So now we go left and head towards these mountains, right? Innsbruck NDB is about right there. As soon as we get close to Innsbruck NDB, we're going to bust a right. I'll grab that heading right now. That'll be basically our downwind leg for runway 8. We'll make a right to 264. Once we get right up on Innsbruck, this little green dot right here. Slow down just a little bit more. The airport right now is like where my mouse is right here. You would not be able to see it. It's behind the panel. God, this is beautiful. About a mile. Alright, we're going to make that right turn now. 263. Flying right along the side of these mountains and up over this shelf here. There's the runway over there, the airport. See that? We're going to be landing on the opposite side. So now we hug these mountains here. We're going to go straight ahead. And then this shelf dips right here, and that's where we make our right turn, and we turn all the way back around into runway 8. We are looking perfect right now, though. Alright, let's bring it down to it's around 3,200 feet at this point. Why are we not descending? Come on, descend. We could actually take over right now if we wanted to. I probably will in about another 15 seconds. Again, there's the runway down there on our right. Watching out for the mountains.
1,000.
Okay, I'm gonna take over now. We're all configured for landing.
500.
Watching that airspeed. You do not want to be slow when we make this right turn. It's a pretty steep turn. We might even overshoot final. Most people do. Pretty good though so far. Alright, right about here. Watching that airspeed, bringing in the power. Lots of power, it takes a lot of power. Let's keep these things floating here. gotta keep an eye on my airspeed. You'll see the train in a few seconds, which is a good visual cue of where the runway will be. Which is that little track there at about our 1 o'clock now. It's going to be at our 12. That little track here, this is the train. There's the runway, obviously. So that was like dang near perfect. We're at the perfect height. Let me turn off my flight director. Yeah, that is so far pretty nice. A lot can go wrong from here on out. Now if we have to go around, we'll go straight up to 9,500 feet and straight out back to Rattenberg, which is pretty much straight ahead. Really easy. But we've got to stick this landing.
300. Approaching minimums.
Oh my god. That's not good. What? Hold on. I'm pausing because normally you would not land with there's no ILS, so I mean, you guys got to give me a break here. I did manually change the weather, so that's not fair.
100. 50. 40. 30.
God, that weather change has really messed with my approach.
20.
I'll take it regardless.
10.
Man, I wish the weather didn't change last second like that, though. That was perfect. God. Dude, and you guys know my landings. I would have stuck it perfect. Oh well. It is what it is.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We are on the ground
we will
safely.
be taxiing for the next few minutes, so please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captain turns off the fasten seatbelt sign. At that time, please remember to check around your seating area in the
Welcome
seat
to
pockets
Innsbruck.
and overhead bins for all personal belongings.
Let me
that you
taxi
brought
off the
on
runway
board.
here, and then I'll catch up with all of your
Please take care when
messages.
opening the overhead bins, as the contents may have shifted during flight.
Man, I changed the weather there at the last second on short final too, and when I clicked OK to get back in the sim, my plane just started dropping, dude. Like the weather change just, I don't know what it is, if it's the temperature or what it is that makes the lift characteristics different, but my plane was like dropping so hard right there. That was kind of scary, to be honest. Innsbruck, everybody. Alright, give me a second. Let me do all of the things. Alright. Let me jump back into the chat. Butter. All right. Well, I'm gonna actually scroll up a little bit, see if I can sort of catch up. Dropping the gear down at 7K, faithful. Yes, you have to do that for this approach. You have to do that. Once you get to Rattenberg or waypoint 2, you need to be 95% configured for landing. Go look up all the real Innsbruck approaches and how to do it. That's normal procedure, faithful. I know it's awkward and seems different. Isaiah made it. Awesome. Yeah, Lois Barley's been being good so far, Isaiah. I told him I'd mention to you that he's being good. But I told him that he needs to behave, that you're the boss. So that's all your call, but he has been behaving this stream. Butter, butter, butter. Damn, I wish it would have been much butterier if I hadn't had to change the weather last second. That really screwed with the landing. As well as the overall realism of the thing. That sucked. Either way, it wasn't too bad though. Butter Eli Cole, thank you, sir. Butterby, I am me. Thanks. I want to do it again, but with like no abrupt weather changes. That was unfair. Alright. Well, being as we're not in contact with the ATC anymore, we can just taxi ourselves in. Look at those mountains. The actual approach was flown perfectly, honestly. And I'm not one to give myself like extra credit on anything. I'm usually actually pretty hard on myself. That approach was done nearly perfect. The actual landing, due to that weather change at the end and me having to go in and switch settings, and then the temperature change, my plane like started dropping out of the sky. There's nothing I could do about that. We still made it to the runway, even though we were dropping like a rock. But the actual approach, all the way down to short final, all the way down to it's basically decision height, was done perfectly. Oh, I forgot to do the replay, which, we'll do this flight again, or one similar. We'll do another approach into Innsbruck real soon, because I like doing these dangerous ones a lot. Alrighty, guys. That concludes tonight's stream. What'd you guys think of the approach? Not just like judging me, but in general. Pretty cool. It buffered on landing, Isaiah. Well, really short final. I had to change the weather settings, and after I changed the weather settings, my frame rates also dropped to like almost nothing. I don't know if you guys could notice that. It's kind of bad. Can I do another flight, Isaiah? With that crazy IME, though, we were like right there at the end of the runway, and then everything went gray. Like, how does that even happen? It's all set up. Set up. It was a setup. Oh, you haven't seen your cat in a while, Isaiah, in two days? I hope he's alright. Ryan Randalls, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Do you guys want me to fly the approach again? We'll like clear the weather out so we don't have that issue again. Do you guys want to just like take off from here? And I might be down to do that. I don't know about another full flight. If you want to run the same approach again, I'm down. Later, Lois. Yep, Lois did behave today, Isaiah. At least take note of it. We all know Lois Barley's a pain in the butt, but he apologized. Let's do it again, IME. I'm down to run the approach again. Alright, let me go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. I guess we'll run the approach again at least. Unless we can think of like a really short flight into Innsbruck. I think I'd rather just do like pattern work though. Alright, I'll be right back, guys. Give me a second. Let's do it again. Orbix Innsbruck, Lois. Okay, I will when I get prepared. For sure. I'm getting all that Orbix scenery. Alright, let me set all the weather up, add like a little bit more fuel into our craft, and we'll just take off, head to Rattenberg, turn around, and we'll fly the approach again. God, this is looking so pretty, though. I gotta say, this was one of the prettiest flights on the stream so far, for sure. As a matter of fact, let me grab a screenshot really quick. I'm going to slew over so I can get the Innsbruck terminal. Yeah, buddy. Right there. All right, let's not waste any more time. Let me change all the weather and time settings and all that stuff so that we can actually see this time. I'm just going to put day. I'm just going to clear out all the weather and put like no wind. That way there's no guessing. Actually, I'm going to leave the wind. I like wind. So that's what it looked like last time, but then we lost all visibility at the end. Alright. That's good. Let's add a little bit of fuel. I'll add like... Oops. Let's just throw in like 17. A little bit lighter than that. Okay, you guys ready? Man, this is awesome. Holy crap. Alright, let's do this. Oops. I'm gonna move as quick as I possibly can, which is not that quick. I'll show you. This is basically how I practice for this approach. I did this twice before I streamed today. Stuff. All right, does anybody know how to clear? How to clear a route off here? Or how would you delete all this? I don't remember. I could just overwrite everything. Would that work? Alright, well, we'll try that. Alright, there we go. Alright, now we got a fresh slate to work with. Alright, moving on. We're doing LOWI to LOWI. Then I go here. Arrival, RNAV. Activate.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard this flight.
Fuels, let's just put in new numbers so it kind of recalculates things, which it should. Our cruise altitude will be 9,500 since that's where we have to cross Rattenberg at. Execute.
Prior to pushback from the gate, please ensure that your seatbelt is securely fastened. Personal cellular telephones may be used while
That's it.
parked
Let's
at
close the
gate
door.
with the main cabin door open. We will advise you
Door's
to
closing.
turn off. For customers seated in the row
Red
of seats
beacon.
identified by the words
Seatbelts.
"No children in this row,"
PC off.
please review the white safety card
Pushing
in the
back.
seat pocket in front of you. The use of some portable electronic devices is prohibited while
So
on
we're
board
moving
the
quick.
aircraft.
Yeah, that's a pretty picture.
Once airborne, you will be advised when the use of approved devices such as personal computers and compact disc players is permitted. A complete list of approved devices may be found in the magazine.
If I pay a little attention to the chat this run, it's because I'm trying to make this semi-quick, and if I keep chatting, I get distracted. So I'm sorry if I'm ignoring you guys. Alright, engine 1 good, let's go. Engine 2.
We have just closed
I mean,
the
engine 2 good, let's go to engine 1.
All personal cellular telephones must be turned off and stowed for the duration of the flight. Flight attendants, prepare doors for departure, cross-check, and verify straps.
Few more screenshots also because I have to. It's just too pretty.
Once again, ladies and
Alright, no more screenshots.
to direct your attention to the flight attendants while we review safety information about this aircraft. Your seatbelt should be fastened at this time.
Alright, engine stable.
It is our policy that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times while seated. The exits on this 757 are marked with red and white exit signs. Please locate the two exits nearest you, keeping in mind the nearest exit may be behind you. This aircraft has extreme path lighting, a change in color on the exit sign when its exits have reached an exit. Should oxygen be needed fast,
Alright, let's taxi.
compartment above your seat. If you're traveling with someone needing assistance,
At our
put
own
on your
discretion.
bag first and then offer assistance. Your life vest is located in a container beneath or in some cases between your seats. If needed, inflate the vest just prior to exiting the aircraft by pulling the red tab on the front of the vest. A safety information card with more detailed instructions regarding this aircraft is in your seat pocket. This is a non-smoking flight. Smoking is not allowed in the cabin or lavatory.
We're just gonna basically be running like a traffic pattern, Isaiah. So we'll be start to finish 20 minutes. I don't know. We're gonna take off, turn around, and land.
Prepare the cabin by making sure all carry-on baggage is stowed, all seat backs and tray tables are upright.
I'm reading some of your messages and laughing. Can't read them all though. Time to rest. Let's do one more. Let's do one more of these since we got screwed at the end of that last one. I want to show you guys one full clean one, all the way down to touchdown without having to pause and change stuff around. We're basically going to take off, climb up to 9,500 feet, turn around, and land. But we're going to follow the approach procedure, the RNAV 26, as we did, and I'll kind of try to explain things along the way like I did last time, so you guys get familiar. So you guys can go do this on your own. At least this is super scenic. Lots to look at, so if you get bored, at least you have the mountains to look at. Taxi to the end of 08 over here, and we'll make a U-turn and we'll head out. This is stress relief for Isaiah. Stress relieving pattern work. Definitely not one of my strong points. Making tight U-turns on the taxiway. Let's get it lined up. Alright, good enough. Lights should have already been configured since we've been on the runway for a while. We want other airplanes to see us. Alright, let's go. No more waiting.
knots.
80. V1, rotate.
Rotate. V2. Positive rate. Gear up.
Gear coming up. Did not set any of the stuff up in the autopilot beforehand. Should have done that before takeoff, but that's alright. I'll wing it.
Flash 5. Flaps 1.
Mountains off to both sides. That's what it looked like during the whole approach. I couldn't look left and right for you guys because I was concentrating on flying. I'd imagine for passengers flying into this airport, it's a pretty scary experience because you just look out both windows and all you see is mountains. You don't see what's actually ahead, so you're like, holy crap.
Flaps up.
Totally gonna plow into a mountain. Actually, I'm gonna keep this manual. What I'm doing is kind of treating this like a missed approach. Like if we had to go around runway 8 last minute, we are now heading straight to Rattenberg, this little green dot here, where we'd be climbing up to 9,500 feet.
Portable electronic devices is now.
As soon as we get close to Rattenberg here, I'll just make a U-turn and we'll head back down. In fact, I'll start rounding it out kind of now.
Folks, just the flight deck. We've just leveled off at our cruising altitude. We're going to keep the seatbelt sign off.
This would be a good time to catch up on messages.
As a reminder, even when the seatbelt sign is off, you should keep your seatbelts fastened at all times while seated.
It's Kodak mode. I'm okay with that too. IME. Yeah, that's what runs through my mind as well.
We ask that you sit back, relax,
Joel Gomez, what's up, dude? Welcome back, man. Athos, what's up, dude? Welcome to the stream. I am going to Prepared. I hope Isaiah you filled him in on that information. It's hard to do this at the same time as flying. Juan Herrera, welcome, man. Can you land a 757 Innsbruck? Yes, you can. This 757 does. You can in real life as well. And Condor, Thompson. I think those two. Again, alright, here's Rattenberg, this little green dot, Rattenberg NDB, which is about 8 miles off to our 1 o'clock. We're going to turn around, hit Rattenberg, head back down, and fly the RNAV 26 approach. And then we'll fly the visual for runway 8.
The captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. Please check that your seatbelt is securely fastened. To prepare for landing, it will be necessary to collect all service items, as well as any other items you wish to discard, such as newspapers.
Anybody just joining, we already flew the flight and landed in Innsbruck. We're just running the approach again, just for fun. So we departed runway 8, and we headed out to Rattenberg. We're going to turn around now. Start from scratch. This is good too. I love doing it again because it's more practice for me. Alright, we're passing Rattenberg. Let's bust that U-turn. Let's do this. Let's slow down. If you see me doing this a bunch of times, it's because sometimes it does not load up both waypoints for the approach. I think the FMC thinks that we're already over waypoint 2, so it doesn't include it. So it always takes a little playing with to get that other waypoint to pop up. But again, right now, we're just making that U-turn back to Rattenberg. Let's bring in a notch of flaps. Wireless, trying to get this all set up. Let me try a different approach, and then load it back up. Doesn't want to take it. Why won't it take it? Alright, we'll treat Rattenberg like it's waypoint 2, because they're basically right next to each other. So once we cross Rattenberg, we're going to want to descend down to 3,700 feet, which is the altitude that we want to cross waypoint number 3 at. 3,700. Bring in another notch of flaps. Again, we want to be configured for landing ASAP.
Preparation for landing. Please return all seat backs and tray tables to their upright and stow
We're going to drop the gear down now.
Ensure all
give us more
portable
drag.
electronic devices are turned off and stow all carry-on items. Additionally,
all right, we're crossing over Rattenberg NDB now. Now we're going to head to waypoint 3.
Position. Thank you.
And we're going to descend down to 3,700 feet. Some of you mentioned before, oh, dropping the gear down at 10,000 feet. That is normal procedure for this approach. Already, by where we are at now, we want to be about 90% configured for landing. Because once you get lower and closer, it gets really hard to slow down.
Flight attendants, please be seated for arrival.
So I'm going to schedule descent to cross waypoint 3, this purple marker up here at 3,700 feet. See this green line here indicates about when we'll be at 3,700 feet, so we are well ahead of ourselves. Once we get to that waypoint 3 there, we're going to turn left to heading 230, heading to Innsbruck NDB, so that we can make that U-turn back to runway 8. See, I'm already almost all set up for takeoff now. I have my landing lights on, gears down in green, flaps are on 30. Is it 30? Yeah, 30. I have one more notch of flaps to put down. Speed brakes are armed, auto brakes are set to 2. You want to have all that done and ready by this point. The charts are down below in the description, guys. If you just joined now and want to follow along, charts are down. I have links to the charts down in the description. In case you have no idea what I'm doing right now. We are in the RNAV 26 approach for Innsbruck. Heading now to waypoint 3. Descending down to 3,700 feet. Nice and slowly. I'll show you guys mountains on the left side, much higher than we are. Mountains on the right side. It's going to be looking the same in a few seconds. So being that we're right on track to waypoint 3 now, I'll engage my my heading hold. So that way it maintains our current heading of 242, and then I'm going to set our bug over to 230, which is the heading we want to be heading once we depart waypoint 3. So once we pass waypoint 3, we're going to make a left turn to 230, heading towards Innsbruck, NDB, which is this little green dot. So here to here. Look, mountains on our right side, mountains on our left. Like, imagine you're a passenger looking out only the side windows. You can't see what's out front. All this open space. It's got to be pretty terrifying. Especially when you make that last turn to final on runway 8. Those engines are screaming at that point. So you're making this hard, like, 40-degree bank angle. Engines roaring at like 80%. And then you got mountains on either side of you. Putting a lot of trust in the Sioux pilots up front. Alright, so the airfield is this little patch of grass right here, if you can see that. That's where the airport is. The runway is slanted this way. Runway 26. Why are we not descending? So we're about 5 miles from waypoint 3, which we're going to cross at 3,700 feet, which we're making our way down now. Since we pass, we're turning left to Innsbruck, this guy here.
2,500.
Sorry if I repeat myself, just want to teach you guys. Hopefully learn something myself if I screw up. There's runway 26. If we were to be landing runway 26, if the winds were in our favor, we just head straight in for the visual. Have the runway in sight, we just head straight there and flaps full, yada yada yada. But we'll be running runway 8, so we have to circle around. We're going to fly above this shelf of mountains right here. So right when we pass waypoint 3, we make a left, which is right about the river here. We go this way to the mountains. Then we fly over this shelf, and then right here it dips down. We dip down there with the slope, and then turn into the runway. All right, so right about now we can make that left turn to Innsbruck. Let's do that. Innsbruck, this little green dot. Innsbruck NDB. So we're heading right towards the mountains. Again, mountains right side, mountains left side. Nowhere to go but up or down. Alright, so once we get just right up against Innsbruck NDB, we're going to make a right turn to 264. And that'll be our downwind leg for runway 8. This is where it becomes really visual here. You kind of got to judge on your own when to make that right turn. You want to hug these mountains over here on our left side to give us enough space to make that U-turn back into runway 8. We're about 2 miles from Innsbruck NDB. It'd be like right here. Nice and low. Alright, let's make that right turn now. 260, 265, somewhere in there. Look over here, there's the airfield. Sorry if you missed it. You'll see it now. There's the airfield down there. See the runway? So we're going to hug these mountains and fly over this shelf. I'm going to bring our flaps to full. Here we can descend down to about 3,200, which is what you want to do over this shelf. Again, avoiding the mountains, staying clear. Runway off to our right. This is actually a lot lower than I actually want to be, probably. Let's hold 3,400 feet. This is what it's like in real life, guys. You come this close.
500.
I'm not sure why all the warnings aren't going off in this airplane right now. They're supposed to be. You'd normally be hearing like, pull up, terrain, terrain, etc., etc. Alright, here's where I take over. Airplane is mine. So we're going to hover over this shelf here, maintaining altitude. Right over here, where my mouse is, it dips down to the right. And that's where we make our turn. Kind of letting the wind push me a little to the left so we have enough room for the roundabout. Alright, so right about here. Sorry, I don't think I did this. Yeah, should have locked that in a while ago. Oops. Okay, whatever. 134 is our VREF. I like to land at like 5 knots over, maybe 139. So just keep that in mind. Wish I could show you guys all the views, but this is... Gotta pay attention. We're looking good though. Looking for that train track again. There it is. It's behind the pillar in the center of my windshield. There's the runway.
$1,000.
Let's hope we don't lose visibility last second like last time. Turn my flight director off. It's a distraction. $500. $400. $300. Approaching minimums. $200. $100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. There you go. I can't say that was any better than the last one.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Touchdown
we
was a
will
little
be
meh.
taxiing for the next few minutes, so please
Could be
remain
better.
seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captain turns off the fasten seatbelt sign. At that time, please remember to
But when
check
you're
around
landing
your
in
seating
Innsbruck,
area in the seat
you don't want to
pockets
think of
and overhead bins for all personal belongings that you brought
could
on
be
board.
better. You're alive.
Please
You're
take care
alive.
when opening the overhead bins, as the contents may have shifted during flight.
Time to go skiing. Alrighty, back to the chat. Oh my god, there's no way I'm going to be able to catch up, guys. I hope you took something from this. Whether it was nice views or you learned something. There's about 1 million messages I need to catch up on. You guys are the best, man. I won't even try to catch up on all the messages. What I'm going to do is leave the chat open, so when we sign off, I'll go back and read all the messages. That way I don't miss anything. So I'm sorry if I don't get to respond to you guys. Thank you for joining me tonight again. You guys are the greatest. I love all of you guys. Do a wing view, Eli. There's no wing view in this aircraft, unfortunately, for FS9, so maybe another day we'll do it in another plane where we can do a wing view. I actually like the Honduras approach a lot better, Samuel. I mean, this was fun. I just learned this in the past day, so it's fun. I love learning the new hard approaches, but I do like the Honduras. I think it takes... Honduras is a lot more skill involved, in my own personal opinion. Again, this might be ranked even more dangerous than the Toncontin approach. But my personal opinion, Toncontin is a lot harder. Athos, you don't understand why you descend 3,200 feet on quote-unquote downwind. There's no altitude restriction for that leg of the approach. I just like to stay low over that little shelf of mountains, because when you make that turn for runway 8, that last right turn, if you're at 3,700 feet, you're going to be really high. So you want to be hugging the terrain there when you're making that right turn back to runway 8. And that is why I dropped it down from 3,700 feet down to 3,200 feet on quote-unquote downwind. Alrighty guys, I'm out of here. Later. Good night, good day, depending where you are. If you're new here, please subscribe, like, comment, and all that good stuff. We'll do another flight tomorrow. We'll do more approaches like these in the future, as well as this one again, probably in the next week or two. You guys enjoy your night and day. It's been a pleasure. I love having you guys on every time. You guys are the best. Alright guys, I'm out of here. Peace. Later.